This is How We Love. I am Robin Lane, and welcome back. Today's guest is the salsa singer, songwriter, dancer, and music festival producer, the dynamic Melina Almodóvar. From her song, La Vida es Bella, here's a glimpse of her sound.
La vida da muchas vueltas, ya sanará lo que enfrentas, solo vive y sé feliz.
Mira lo bueno que tiene la vida, no sufras por los problemas, que no vale la pena.
No vale la pena, no.
Hi, Melina. Because this is an audio only podcast, our listeners cannot see how drop dead gorgeous you are. But take it from me, folks, she is all that. Melina, for our audience, tell them how they can hear the full song on the live album.
Hi, Robin. I'm super excited to be here with you today. And they can go to YouTube and look for Melina Salsa. You can go there and find all my music there. You can find my last concert, which is fully live from Hollywood, Florida, and you can listen to it there. All of it is there on my YouTube page.
Great, you've made life easy. So what are you up to currently?
Wow, Robin, I'm doing a million things all at the same time. And yeah, I'm getting ready for a lot of shows coming up here. So I'm super
Where
excited.
is here? Where is here?
I live in Miami, Florida, actually in Pembroke Pines, right outside of Miami. And I do a lot of events here in Miami Beach, in Hollywood, and all the surrounding areas. I also do a lot of shows outside of the country, but right now I'm really focused on a lot of events that I'm going to be producing in the next few months. So, and also performing. So I'm getting ready for all that. Actually, I just spent the whole day sitting here waiting for this wonderful podcast to be with you, but also producing, organizing myself.
I know you're a very hard worker, but let's go back a bit, okay? To your
Yes.
early years. So you grew up in Puerto Rico, right?
Yes, Puerto
What
Rico.
town?
Yes.
What town? What town?
Well, I was born in Santurce, Puerto Rico,
Yes,
but
I've actually been there.
yes, I was born there. And then my family moved to across the bay from San Juan to a place called Toa Baja, Puerto Rico. And I grew up there in a neighborhood called Levittown. So I grew up there until about 14 years old. And then I moved to the States when I was 14. So
But
yeah.
your dad died when you were how old?
Yes, I was 10 years old when my father died.
What was that? That's a catastrophe.
Yeah, it was, it was intense. It was some intense years there because also my grandma, his mother died, a year before. So it was very, very difficult. When you're a child, you really don't know what that means, I think. So for me, I think as we get older, we realize what that really means. And so for me, when I was a kid, yeah, I really didn't know what death was, honestly. And so, yeah, it was a shock because my dad was very active in my life. He was always up and down music all the time. My father was a singer. And so that's why I enjoy music so much. One of the reasons, because
So you come from a musical family?
yes, I come from a very, very artistic family.
Tell
I
us.
come,
Tell us.
yeah, I come from, so my grandmother, Elia Sanchez, she's 93, and she, in her earlier years was a sculptress and a painter, and she loved poetry and loved to read and loved to write poetry and was very, very artistic. And my mother, when in her younger years as well, used to dance flamenco in Old San Juan.
Flamenco. Oh my goodness.
Yes, she was a flamenco dancer. My
Oh
dad
wow.
was very,
She must have had a gorgeous body. Oh my
she
God.
did. She was little but powerful. That's what we that's what we
She was
say.
little. How big was she?
My mom is 4'11". My
She
mom
was
is
a flamenco
tiny.
dancer and she was 4'11". That's
Yes,
incredible. Oh my
super
gosh.
tiny. My mom is tiny and cute now. She used to be tiny and powerful. Yeah. So yeah, I have a lot of family that are, very, very artistic. We love art. Also
Well,
my dad.
I would imagine that you probably had a large extended family because when your dad died, your mother must have been surrounded by family, right?
Yes. Well, actually, my mother and my father were not married at the time. They divorced when I
Oh,
was 2 years old. Um,
okay,
yes.
okay. That
So
explains something. Okay.
yes, he was married to a wonderful lady who is like my second mom. When he passed away, and he had two other girls before he passed away. And they were actually a year, and the other one was 10 months old. So they were babies when he passed away. So, it was very difficult in that sense.
That also kind of explains why you said to me, you didn't really realize that your dad was dead because he wasn't living with you.
No, he wasn't. I would see him on the weekends, and I would see him on vacations and stuff like
That's a
that.
big difference from a dad that comes home every night.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
My dad, but
yeah.
my dad was very present in my life. It wasn't like he wasn't around. He was
I get it. I get it. I
very,
get
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
get it.
But
So how did he influence you musically?
oh, many ways. He was actually the first thing would be that he named me after a song. So there you go. So there was a very
What's the song? What's the song?
there's a very famous Spanish artist that was very famous in the 80s and the 70s and 80s. Actually 70s, must have been 70s. His name was Camilo Sesto, and he wrote this song called Has vuelto Melina, which means you're back, Melina, and it's about this it goes something like Has vuelto Melina, and he loved that song. He used to sing that song to me all the time, and it was about a Greek warrior, and she was coming back to her homeland, and it's a very intense song. It has a very Greek kind of thing. So Melina's
I get that because my mother, my name, I use the name Robin Lane, but I was born with the name Roberta, and I was an actress, and my mother named me after a Broadway show.
well, there you go. That's
So
it.
right, so I
You're
get
destined for greatness if that happens. Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But go on.
So my dad used to have a bunch of friends that were musicians, and he would invite them to his apartment, on the weekends. And he would have what we called bohemias, which are like bohemian nights. Okay, so I remember going to sleep because I was pushed to go to sleep by my stepmother. She would be like, "No, no, it's time for you to go to sleep." And I was like, "No, no, I want to be there. I want to be with them." Like they would sit there and play the songs and sing the songs and until 4 o'clock in the morning and drink a bunch of wine and whatever else they were doing. I don't know. And it was very bohemian. So I loved it. I loved listening to my dad play guitar and all his friends.
What kind of music did he play? Did he play salsa? Did he play mambo? What
No,
did he play?
not any salsa, which is great. It's crazy. He did not actually. My dad was a very romantic, like he liked romantic. So like boleros, ballads like Jose Jose, stuff like that. That was very romantic. Like he liked Frank Sinatra in English. He
Oh my
loved
goodness.
Elvis Presley, like all the romantic stuff.
Oh my
So
goodness.
so yeah, he was very romantic. My dad was known to give ladies serenatas, like coming like on the window. He would give my mom a serenata, like what do you call that in English? Like when they sit in the bottom and they sing until the lady comes out, and I don't know what you call that in English, but
You mean serenading?
serenading, yes, serenata, una serenata. In Puerto Rico, that was a big deal in the 70s. So
Was he very handsome?
oh yeah, my dad. Yes, he had lots
Well, he
of.
must have been because you're gorgeous.
Thank you, thank you. No, he was gorgeous. He was very charismatic. My grandma loved him. My grandpa hated him
Why did your grandpa hate him?
because he was. Actually, my mom was 16 when she met him, and he was 22, 21 or 22. And so he was considered like, an older person for a 16-year-old by my
They were
grandpa.
they,
My
they were
grandpa was
both
not
they were
having.
both babies. They were both babies.
Yeah, but at that time,
Yeah, 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 yeah. But in reality, they were babies.
my grandpa was not having it. But, it ended up being that they had the God and the universe had a different plan.
No, because of sex. Because of sex, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
I
yeah.
came along and that was that.
Yeah. And wasn't your grandfather happy about that?
I think so. Yeah, yeah. He was, I'm sure. Yes, he was.
So
He just,
what were you like as a child? Were you musical when you were very young? When you were a kid?
I was very hyper. I was extremely hyper. My grandma and my mom wanted for me to be busy all the time because I was so hyper, and I loved music, and I was always in front of the mirror, like singing to myself. And I remember having,
You sound like me.
yeah, yeah. Well, we have a lot in common. And I had brushes, like those round brushes that I would sing with, and I would make believe they were like, mics. And so, yeah, I remember in my room in Puerto Rico, I had a full length mirror, like one of those really long, from the bottom and the top, like that. And I would sit there for hours and hours and sing to myself and, do dance and just put on little shows for my neighborhood and my family. So I guess I'm doing the same thing, but in a bigger scale.
And what was your first profession? What was your first job? The actual first job that you got?
Oh, wow. The first actual job that I got paid for was working at Supercuts.
No,
Imagine.
no, I don't mean no. I mean singing. I mean
Oh,
singing,
singing job. No, the
singing.
actual job that I got paid for like in my life was Supercuts. But the
No,
actual
no, I mean
first
singing.
job, the first job that I ever got singing, I actually was in Memphis, Tennessee when I moved. And I
What were
tried
you?
out.
Let me interrupt again. What were
Yeah.
you doing in Memphis, Tennessee?
Well, okay, so when my father died, my mom was married to another gentleman, another person. And he actually wanted us to move to Tennessee. So we moved to Tennessee, and my mom got a job there as a doctor. My mom became a doctor, and
Did you speak English then?
I'm sorry?
Did you speak English or Spanish?
Oh yeah, no, I spoke both because in Puerto Rico there are schools that teach both. And so my mom always wanted me to, I mean, they're supposed to teach English in school in Puerto Rico. But one thing is to teach the English, and then actually is to speak English. And so I went to a school that it was called an American school. So I went to a school that taught everything in English. So we had Spanish class instead of having, you see, so everything was like in America. So like everything was in English, and then I had Spanish class.
Okay,
So
so then you moved to the American South where there were no Latins, right?
no Latins. I moved to Memphis, Tennessee. I think I was me and three other people, and they were like Mexican. They weren't even Caribbean. Yes, that was crazy. Yeah, insane.
They say that's what makes. They always say that's what makes a great artist, being an outsider.
Well, I was definitely an outsider, and yes, I have felt like an outsider most of my career. So yes,
I don't know an artist that hasn't, to be honest with you.
yeah, yeah, it's true. I think you have to, when you have this feeling that you have to express yourself through music. I think that the way it is that you have to fight for who it is that you are, right? So,
Well,
as an
you're
outsider,
just not going to go down a traditional life path.
oh no, I have not.
No,
I have not. I've never saw myself as a traditional
no,
person.
no. And so you start out feeling as an outsider because I went to the High School of Performing Arts.
Oh,
And
uh-huh.
yeah, so at the age of 14. So I've been around artists all of my life, and I've never met one that felt that they were part of the mainstream. And usually it starts by kind of trauma in life that makes you feel like an outsider?
Yeah, I now that you mention it, when I was little, I had lots of friends that had very good family life. Like families, like my mom and dad and the kids and this and that. And I never really had that, honestly. Like I had two families. I had, two very different families. My dad's family and then my family, and they had different ideologies. One was very spiritual and religious, and the other one was not at all. So,
Wow.
I had a lot of different things. I knew
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
life.
You could have either become an artist or a mass murderer. Yeah, right.
I don't think I could do that, so I'm glad I'm an artist. Right. Yeah, yeah. No, it's interesting though. I've met a lot of really, to be an artist, you have to be a fighter, I believe. So I have been a fighter in my life. So I'm grateful for all the opportunities I've gotten though, and all the changes that have happened in my life, so that I could express myself and believe in myself that I could do this,
So tell me again. So how did you start?
Yeah, so my first job, we were talking about that after the supercuts. So I found through the grapevine, in that time in Memphis, Tennessee, there was no Facebook, there was no Instagram, there was nothing. So there was this thing called the Memphis Flyer, it's a newspaper like the New Times in Miami, or I don't know, the Village Voice or something like that. And so I started looking for singing jobs, like singing stuff that I could do to sing. And I found these people that were looking for a rock singer. And I was like, okay, well, I sing, I could try it. I could copy, I could listen and copy and listen and copy. That's what I used to do. I used to listen to singers and kind of copy what they were doing. And so I don't know if you can hear my dogs. I'm so sorry. Can you hear my dogs?
No, I cannot. But go on, go
Okay,
on.
good. I'm so sorry. And so, anyway, they had a band audition for their band. And I said, okay, I'm just going to go to rock band, like alternative rock. It was the 90s. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go. And they hired me. They said, yeah, this is your first gig. And I was like, okay. I was like, awesome. The band's name was called Two Faces, and it was a rock band. And
And how old were you with your first job?
well, I kind of lied. I said I was 18, but I was actually 16.
Uh-huh.
And they put me in the club, and I went and I sang. I wasn't the best rock singer ever. I was not. I was a very bad rock singer. But we did different gigs and stuff like that. And then,
Tell me. I'm interested.
well, we did this place called the New Daisy in Memphis, and it was okay. I wasn't really I liked it, and I liked the experience of being in a band. So I was like, I like being in a band, but this isn't really the genre I believe I fit in. So I was looking forward to trying other genres. And so then in high school, so that was the first thing I actually got paid for. I think I was getting paid like $50 a gig or something like that, which
Which is
was,
very exciting.
yes, I was like, oh my God, yes, money. I was making money. And then, so after that, in high school, I did the show choir. I did show choir. I did all kinds of choirs. I did theater. I did not like theater very much. I'm not a very good actress. So I wasn't really into the saying the lines and all that stuff. I would get so nervous saying lines on stage, and I would forget them. And I was just not a good actress. Maybe now if I tried it, it could be better. But back then I was not a good actress. And so I kept going and finding different things. And then a jazz band called me, like this jazz band. And I was like, okay. And they would do blues and jazz. And I was like, okay. So I was singing blues and jazz and stuff like that. And that I kind of liked, enjoyed a little bit more. And then one day, my mom and I went to this place called Salsa, properly, which was a Mexican restaurant in Memphis. And my mom and I were there eating, and suddenly I hear this like band in the background, and I heard it was like salsa, like tropical, like, they had this little thing going where it was like a piano and the montuno, and I was like, man, I really like that. That's really cool. And they were playing like Latin stuff. And so I went up to the bass player and I said, do you guys play here all the time? And he was like, yes, we play here every Thursday. And I was like, okay, well, can I come back and sing next week? Like, if you guys let me sit in, or if I could sing something. And he was like, yeah, sure, come back. And so I came back and I learned, I had like Bésame Mucho, like that bolero, Bésame Mucho. And then I learned some other things like Girl from Ipanema and stuff like that. And so I went back and I sang with them. And then after that, the bass player comes up to me again and he says, that was actually pretty good. And I was like, okay. And then he goes, next week, if you want to come back, I have a friend that is starting a salsa band. And I was like, okay, I will come back. And so my mom and I went back on the next Thursday and I met this big guy that was a trombone player. And his name was Howard Lamb. And he was this big, big guy from Memphis, big, huge guy. And he says, well, we're looking for a salsa singer because we want to start a salsa band here in Memphis. Because I love salsa, I'm a trombone player. And the bass player's name was Tim Goodwin. And he was a teacher at the University of Memphis.
Okay, let me stop you for a second, because salsa, I want to try to understand what salsa is, because when you're talking about songs like Besame Mucho, I remember those from my era, and they were not salsa songs.
No,
So
no,
what
no,
is
no.
the difference between salsa and other Latin music?
Okay, it's a very long explanation, but the shortest thing I can say is every salsa song has a clave. Okay, so what the clave means, the key.
But
Okay,
doesn't mambo have a clave too?
yes, it does. Okay, so salsa, all right, is the genre. It's the name that was given, okay, to the combination of all those genres like mambo, cha-cha-cha, charanga, all those things. So salsa is the mixture of all those things. So
I'm getting confused. Are you telling me that salsa is like that? All of that falls under the umbrella of salsa, or salsa something else?
okay, so let's just go back to the beginning. Okay, so there's son, cha-cha-cha, mambo, charanga, boogaloo, all of those things, okay? Those are in the 50s, 40s, all those things before salsa became salsa, okay? So the term salsa was coined in the 60s and 70s by Johnny Pacheco and the Fania Records, okay? And what they did, those people like Willie Colon, Hector Lavoe, Celia Cruz, all that label in New York City, was take all those other genres and mix them together. Okay, so all those genres have a clave. Okay, and then salsa is the mixture of all those things together. So in one salsa song, you can have a cha-cha-cha, you can have you can have song, you can have garacha, you can have guaguancó, you can have all these things. So that's why they mixed all those things together and made it more popular.
Wow.
So from the 70s, I can't remember the exact year, but it was in the 60s, when the beginning 60s, 70s, when the term salsa came out. Okay.
That's before you were born.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well before I was born. So, yeah. So now salsa has evolution, it's had a very big evolution. So then in the 90s, it became, Mark Anthony and La India. And then you have El Gran Combo de Puerto Rico, which were all the way back into the 50s that they started in Puerto Rico. But they were doing like one of those things, like cha cha cha, or they were doing son, or they were doing mambo, or they were doing one thing. Okay. So when salsa comes along, it brings all those things together. And
Wow.
that's why
Wow.
when you hear a salsa song, it can have so many different uh, you know, connotations. But
And
it
sounds
must
and
have a
sounds.
clave and drop. Yeah, it must have a clave. It must have a clave.
Yeah,
So it
yeah,
must.
yeah,
If there's no clave, which is 3-2 or 2-3, it's not salsa.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
salsa. Yeah. So
Wow,
that's
that is
why.
that is really, really interesting.
Yes, and then the way you dance it is also very important. And in order
How
to
do you
dance,
dance it? What do you mean?
well, in order to dance salsa, you have to have the clave. So if you don't have a clave, you can't dance salsa. See?
Right, but
So
you have to
so
dance on a certain beat, right?
some people dance on the one, some people dance on the two. So, New York style and then LA style, then you have the Cuban style, you have Puerto Rican style. And
Really?
yes, it's a very vast universe. It's a very vast, very. Colombian salsa is super different. Colombian is very fast, like very energetic, and your feet go really fast. And Puerto Ricans tend to be more slow, like a slower pace, and the Puerto Rican people like slower salsa. Cubans tend to like it a little bit faster, and Colombians super fast. And
Wow,
I get to the point now where I listen to the first 12 bars of a song and I pretty much can tell you where it's from. So
really?
yes, but I've dedicated my whole life to salsa. So for me, it's, I listen to it every day.
So
Mm-hmm.
let me move you on just a little bit from there, and let me ask you something. What is the largest audience that you've ever played in front of?
I think the largest audience I ever played in front of was a long time ago, but then I did it again. So I would say like about 20,000 people, 20,000 to 30 maybe. I can't really, but it was a really large crowd. I played
What
Yankee
is it?
Stadium.
What was that? What was that like? Because I was a performer, so I acted in front of maybe 800 people, something like that. What is that like to perform in front of 20 or 30,000 people?
Robin,
What does it
it's
feel like when
amazing.
you, first of all, what does it feel like when you come on stage?
I try to focus, like I try to connect. Like the first thing that I do when I come off stage is, I say to myself, well, here we go, like you got to bring it. Like in my mind, that's the first thing that I say to myself. And when I walk out on stage, the first thing I do is wave at the people and I smile really big, like saying hello to them, like I don't really, just kind of walk on stage and just be there. I don't do that. So for me, that's really important to create a relationship with the audience from the beginning, from the moment they see you. And I
So
think it's,
hold on. So they're also seeing you up on big screens, right?
oh yeah, they're seeing you everywhere. So you can't
So
escape.
describe it to me. Describe it to me.
So like when you walk in, for me at least, I can't speak for anybody else, but when I think about what the people are seeing like on the outside. So of course I try to look my best, like depending on what it is. I try to, have my beautiful dress or my outfit or whatever, but I also come out and I smile and I wave at the audience. Like I'm like, hey, like I'm trying for them to see me and connect with them, like that's really important
But
for
I
the
want to
connection.
know how many screens are up there.
Well, it depends on where you are. There's
Well, when
many
you're
screens.
talking about, when you tell me you're performing for 20,000 people.
Oh, well, there were huge screens on the sides and in the back of the stage, and then so that other people could see it, there were other screens like to the back. So there's screens everywhere, like when you go to a huge concert. You
You
know,
are a hot shot, girl. You are a hot shot.
well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's taken me a long time to be able to say that, that I am a hotshot. Uh, I enjoy it very much. To me, it's like a fish to water. So I don't really think of it that way. I don't think of it the way you're saying it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
No, 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 no. What do you mean?
I don't think of it as like a huge deal. I really don't, because I've always been in front. I've always wanted to be there. So for me, it's normal. It's
It's
like
natural. It's
it's
natural.
natural, not normal. It's natural. It's
It's
like
natural.
I see a stage and I'm like, oh, that's where I belong. So for me, you know, I and I love to create that relationship during a show with the audience. Like I love to create the beginning of the show, then the middle of the show, and then the ending of the show, and then everybody's like so excited, and it's a back and forth between the audience and me and the musicians, and just I love all of it, all of it.
And how long will a performance go on?
It depends. Sometimes it's 45 minutes. Sometimes I do, two songs in a show. Like I'm invited to do a show with somebody else. Or sometimes I do 2 hours. Sometimes I get
2
excited and I do more
hours.
than 2 hours.
You've done
Yeah.
2 hours?
Oh yeah, I do 2 hours. Yeah. You know what? I used to sing here in Miami in this place for years and years. I used to sing in Calle Ocho at these places that were wine bars, like places where people would go after work and drink wine. And I used to sing 4 hours.
Four? No, not straight. Come on.
I used to take breaks, but I still used to sing 4 hours.
Oh my God.
So I would do, an hour and take a 15-minute break, and then another hour, and then would take a 15-minute break, and then another hour, like that. And that taught me a lot of discipline. A
What do you
lot.
mean? What do you mean?
Well, because I had to keep singing, I had to keep dancing, I had to keep entertaining, I had to, keep it going, keep the party going. And I did it at Mango's Tropical Cafe here for a very long time, and that's an extremely hard job because you have to sing on a bar, like you sing on a bar, literally here in
What
South
What do you mean sing on a bar? You're standing on a bar?
South Beach. Have you ever been to South Beach
No,
in
not
Miami?
really.
Okay, so Ocean Drive in Miami is a big, long, long street that has a bunch of bars, a lot of hotels and bars and restaurants. And my first job when I moved here to Miami in 2005, I got hired at Mango's Tropical Cafe. It's sort of like a cabaret, okay? So like if you can envision that, but it's tropical. It's all salsa. It's like all reggaeton, merengue, Latin. It's very Latin. And they have a huge bar in the middle of the club. It's like a boat. The club is like a boat. It's shaped sort of like a boat. And when you walk in, the first thing you see is the bar, which is a stage. And then they have the bartenders behind the bar. And you can sit around that bar. And so for 5 years, I used to sing there for 4 nights. It was, and the sets were like that. The sets were 4 hours, 6 to 10 or 10 to 2 in the morning or like that kind of thing. And we would sing for, like not me singing by myself. There were other singers, but you still had to take turns. You would sing one song and then the other one would sing another one and so like that. And then you would have to get up out off the stage and jump on the bar and you would sing on the bar and there were people
No,
everywhere.
no, no. This is what I'm trying to understand. When you say you would jump on the bar, you telling me that you would be on the top of a bar?
Yes, yes, on top of the bar. Yes, there was. Yep, there was a bodyguard that would stand in front of the bar, and he would help you to get up on the bar, or actually lift you on the bar. So yeah, my life has been very colorful, and
And
it's
what would you be wearing? What would you be wearing?
so I had very short skirts and sometimes pants, very tight pants, and then boots, like white boots. They would make us wear white a lot, like white pants and shirts, and it was all color coordinated. So we would have a schedule of like what pant with what shirt, and everybody had to look the same,
All right,
basically.
let me tell you what's running through my mind. Did any guys ever try to, follow you out of the bar?
No, there were a lot of bodyguards, lots of bodyguards all over the place. I never had that problem,
So
honestly.
you never had that problem.
Well, coming out of my of the bar, I mean, coming out of my job, no, no, I never had that problem. People
That, that
trying
that's
I
amazing.
mean, there were guys that would want to touch you and stuff like that, yes, but that was shut down very quickly at the club. Yes, but I wasn't. Let me just make it clear on this podcast.
What a life you've had, girl.
But wait, let me make it clear on this podcast. I was singing. I was not doing anything else than singing and dancing.
I got
So
it. I got it. And you were dancing. You were dancing also.
yeah, because they had salsa dancers on that bar. It's a very famous bar. It's not like a strip club or anything like that. It's a really, really, really famous club. It's called Mango's Tropical Cafe, and
But I'm
many
trying to
people.
understand the breath control that you have to be able to sing and dance at the same time. I mean,
Oh
that's
yeah, yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, I still like work out a lot. I try to stay fit because as you get older, things, get harder. And so for me, when I was 25, that was super easy when I was 25. I don't know if I can do it now, but maybe I could. But I still,
You're still a baby. You're still just a baby.
right, yeah. Well,
So
sometimes I don't
did
feel
you
like
ever,
it.
by the way, did you ever study voice?
I did. I actually studied voice in Memphis, Tennessee. I had a wonderful teacher that taught me. I had two amazing teachers. I had a show teacher, which was a performance teacher. Her name was Cindy Cover, and she was amazing. She taught me stage presence. She taught me, how to do great on stage. And then when I went into college, I studied under a wonderful teacher. She passed away. Her name was Lisa Fuller, and she was a classical voice teacher. And so for me at the time, I hated it. I hated classical music. Oh my God. I was like so bored and I didn't understand why I was taking this. But now I'm so grateful that I took it because she taught me how to breathe correctly. She taught me the technique that I was supposed to learn in order to sing 5 hours, 4 hours,
Mm,
the way to take care to breathe correctly so you could sing for a really long time. That's very difficult without being hoarse. As a performer, you have to talk a lot, like, go on interviews, talk, do podcasts with beautiful ladies like you, Robin. And so, like it's complicated. It's
yes,
not easy.
yes, yes.
Mhm.
People have no idea how hard performing is. It's very, very hard. They only see the glamour part.
Yeah, we make it look easy so that people are engaged. If they saw all the other parts, the background parts and all the other things that you have to do, like my life is super boring otherwise. Like I go to bed, I go to bed very early. I try to go to bed very
Oh, no,
early
no,
because
no. Wait a minute. You also have a man in your life, do you not?
yes, yes, I do. Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, yes, yes. He's wonderful. He's also a very understanding, wonderful, calm human, which
How did you meet and how long ago?
I actually met him in 2007. I met him in
Oh,
the
you've been
building.
together a long time.
Yes. Oh, next year will be 20 years. Yeah.
Wow.
So he's very patient and very kind.
How did you meet? How did you meet?
We met in the building where I lived when I moved to Florida, to South Beach. Because when I moved to Florida, it was 2005, and I wanted to live in South Beach. I said to myself, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it the right way. Like I always wanted to move to Miami. And so I was looking around for an apartment and I found one in this wonderful building in West Avenue in South Beach. And I loved it. It was this tiny, tiny studio apartment. At that time, it was $800 a month. And I got the job where I was telling you at Mango's Tropical Cafe. And I had a scooter and I drove to work every day in my scooter. And then in 2007, he, I just started seeing him around the building, like, and I had dogs. I love dogs. I'm an animal lover. And so I would walk my dogs in the morning and he would say hi to me. And I was like, okay, but I never really thought anything about it, like,
Let me ask you something. Objectively, is he as handsome as you are pretty?
I think so. Yes. To me, I think he's much more prettier than I am. So,
Oh, come on, honey. Nobody's prettier than you.
oh, that's so nice
No,
of you.
no, no,
So
no. Stop, stop, stop.
much more handsome than yeah, I think he is. And so
So
for
how
me,
so how did
yeah.
you start to get involved?
Well, at the time when I met him, he had a girlfriend that lived in the building as well. So I kind of, I wasn't really looking for a relationship. I had just gotten to Miami. I was not interested in having a serious relationship in any way, shape, or form. I had just gotten there. I was sowing my wild oats. I was learning, meeting people from all over the world. South Beach I was
So
meeting.
what was it about him?
Well, I mean, we kind of saw each other in the building for a while. And then one day I said to him, hey, I'm performing because I also had other jobs. And I had a job for a while singing at a cigar bar in Lincoln Road, which is another big road in Miami, Miami Beach. And so I invited him, which was, I mean, I invited him many times to many things, and he never went with his girlfriend. I just would see them, and I would be like, "Hey, you guys want to come out?" And then they would never show up. And then that day, I saw him by himself, and I was like, "Hey, if you guys want to come, I'm gonna be at Lincoln Road, singing tonight." And he goes, "Okay, yeah, okay, whatever." Da da da. And then that was it. And I went to my job, and then I was singing there. Started like at 10 o'clock at night, and here I see him walking in with his friend. And I was like, where's his girlfriend? And I was like, okay. And then after the set, I went and I talked to them both. He came with his friend that also lived in the building. And we just started talking. And then I was like, well, where's your girlfriend? And he was like, well, we broke up. And I was like, okay, great. I was like, all right. And then after that, so for a while, we just kind of saw each other in the building. And then one day I said, hey, you guys want to come over for dinner at my house? I'm having some friends over. And then that was it. After that, everybody left.
What was it about him?
I don't know. I think he was just so, first of all, I think he's super kind. Like he was super kind and
Oh,
very calm
that's really important.
and super calm, very calm
Ah, ah.
and super funny, very funny.
Oh my
And
God, you have just you have just named the three most important things: kind, funny. Okay,
yeah, and he loved,
okay.
and also really important for me is that I love animals. So he also liked dogs, and at the time I had cats, and he was nice to my cats. He doesn't not particularly fond of cats, but you know, he was into the animal thing because I had people that had been going out with that hated
I'm
dogs.
not going to buy the animal thing, okay, but I
Yeah,
am going to buy the kind and the
yeah, yeah,
funny, the kind and the funny, because I
yeah,
don't know if to our listener, if you're a young person out there listening, there's nothing more important than
yes,
kind and funny, right?
and cute.
Yeah, well, of course,
I'm just
the
messing up.
chemistry, without chemistry, it all
Yeah.
goes down the tubes. But
Yes.
anyway, listen, my darling, gorgeous, fabulous girl, we've come to the end of the show. Believe it or
Already? Oh
not.
my God.
Yes, yes, yes,
No
yes, yes,
way.
yes, 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 yes. So
Wow.
I cannot thank you enough.
Oh no, thank you.
And tell the audience one more time where they can listen to you. Okay, just tell it one more time.
Yes, you can go to my YouTube page. Is Melina, Melina, Salsa, Salsa. And anywhere you look, you can put Melina Salsa and all my music will come up. And I want to thank you, Robin, for giving me this opportunity to talk about everything with you and to get to know you. For me is a true honor. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for this hour.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
darling. Thank you so much.